Hello, and welcome to The Discriminating Gamer, the board game review show that would like to tell you the joke about the horse that walked into the bar. It asked for a beer, the bartender gave him one. Asked for another beer, the bartender gave him one. Asked for another beer, the bartender gave him one. When he asked for another beer, the bartender says, "You've been drinking an awful lot. Don't you think you might be an alcoholic?" The horse said, "I don't think." Poof, he disappeared out of existence. You have to understand Rene Descartes and his philosophy of "I think, therefore I am." I probably should have mentioned that part first, but that would have been putting Descartes before the horse. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to go ahead and tell you all about this new game called The Menace Among Us from Smirk Dagger Games. In The Menace Among Us from Smirk Dagger Games, 4 to 8 players are going to attempt to get their spaceship out of danger and complete their mission, all while avoiding the dangerous trap of one or more hidden traitors. Depending on player count, there's going to be up to 1 or 2 hidden traitors in the game. You may also have a coward in 7 or 8 player games as well. But essentially, each of the characters, loyal crew members, traitor, or the coward, is going to have their own specially built agenda deck, which is going to have specific cards in them. Generally, the traitors are going to have negative cards built into their deck. Then players are each going to select their role. They're going to select whether they're a doctor or mechanic or what have you. They're going to select that card, and they're going to get a number of other cards. They're going to get a number of other cards that they draw from the general pool of cards. And these are kind of basic repairs, advanced repairs, radiation, different kinds of things. They're going to go ahead and draw all these cards and mix those in with the existing deck from their agenda deck. Now, of course, no one knows who is the secret traitor, who's loyal, or whatnot. Now, you have your HUD board. Now, at the top of the HUD board is your oxygen level. You'd never want that to get to 0 or everybody dies. At the bottom, you've got your energy level, which starts toward the bottom. You're trying to build that up toward the top so you and your friends can get to safety. Now, on your turn, you can do one of 3 things. You can do a below decks action, meaning you play a card, you play it face down and contribute it to the general pool. You can go ahead and do an above decks action, which is essentially a action you have on your player sheet. Like if you're a doctor, you can heal people. And then you also have the possibility of just simply drawing another card into your hand. Next, you have the resolution phase. Now, each round, you have a team leader. That team leader collects all the cards that were contributed. If there's cards that are below a certain number, you will actually contribute 2 from the ship's computer called Emma, which just kind of has some random cards placed in there. They're not random, but they're shuffled randomly, of course, but some of them are good, some of them are bad. The mission leader then, after he's shuffled the contribution cards, he reveals them one at a time. Now, these things will actually have the energy level move up, the oxygen level move up or down. A lot of times you contribute to one of those things to move them up or down. It'll move the other one up or in the opposite direction, essentially. So you're contributing these things and trying to get that energy up while at the same time maintaining oxygen levels. Now, you can also, after you've resolved things, you can have a accusation phase. Essentially, a player can grab the pistol and say, "We're going to vote." And essentially, everybody, on a count of 3, selects which player they think is the hidden traitor. If he is the hidden traitor, he is revealed and exiled. Now, that means he can no longer do above decks actions, but he can still contribute below decks cards to the general pool. Now, some of the actions will cause crew members to be wounded. You get these wounds, and they can do different things to you. Now, if you get 2 wound cards, and you have 2 wound cards by the end of a round, you are dead. That kills you. It is still possible to win, however, if your goals are fulfilled even after you've died. Now, if ever the oxygen reaches 0, then, of course, the traitor wins the game. If ever the energy reaches the top of the energy bar, then the good guys win the game. Or if the traitor has been exiled and the good guys reach 70% on the energy level, then they win the game. However, in any of those scenarios, if the coward can simply stay alive, then he wins the game as well. So if you are the traitor and you're able to sabotage the mission, or if you're the crew and able to complete the mission, then you win! The Menace Among Us. The Menace Among Us, or as I like to call it, the Menace Humongous, is a very interesting game. It's kind of a distilled version of the Hidden Traitor mechanic. It's a very similar mechanic to Battlestar Galactica in the idea of we're contributing to the crisis constantly. It's an interesting idea here. I love Hidden Traitor games, incidentally, and I like here how you build the agenda decks. How you build those at the beginning of the game. You have the agenda decks that are, kind of pre-built, have negative cards if you're the traitor, or more positive cards if you're the good guys. And then you add other cards to that depending on which role you choose. I think it's a pretty smart way to kind of build something that's focused for this mechanic. It's really simple. This is a really simple Hidden Traitor mechanic, and that's, of course, what they're going for here. It hits the right notes in that, you're trying to find that you're trying to succeed, but these problems keep popping up, and you know somebody's behind it, and it's aggravating because you don't know who, and you're looking at your friends, and you're thinking who's bluffing you, who's trying to bluff you. And so it's really a fun game. And what's really cool about it is it's a fairly short game too. It's about, half hour, maybe 45 minutes tops, depending on player count. It's not a long game, but you still get that really solid rush of the hidden traitor mechanic. Again, it's just kind of the distilled hidden traitor mechanic from a game like Battlestar Galactica. The theme's fun too. The theme actually, with the artwork and the theme, kind of reminded me of Damage Report, which I reviewed several years ago. Kind of similar theme there in artwork. But I really, I had fun with this game. It's not the best Hidden Traitor game I've ever played. Secret Hitler's still probably my favorite as far as kind of bigger 8-player party game. And then, of course, the best implementation of a Hidden Traitor mechanic I've ever seen is still, for my money, Battlestar Galactica. But that's a much different and more complex game than the Menace Among Us. But if you're looking for a game that plays a lot of players, that you're going to have fun, you're going to laugh with your friends with, I think Menace Among Us, the Menace Among Us, might be a game you might want to check out. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to recommend buy it. I think you'll have fun with this game. Thank you once again for joining us today on The Discriminating Gamer. As always, we ask you to please leave a comment for us on YouTube, on Board Game Geek, on our Facebook page, or on thediscriminatinggamer.com. We ask you to please like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, and follow us on Twitter. We are The Discriminating Gamer, and speaking of philosophers, ladies and gentlemen, I really wanted to talk to you today about 18th century philosophers, but I just can't.
Please somebody help me on my feet again, and I don't know where I'm going, and I don't know where I've been. Please somebody help me on the solid ground. It's a long time, and I'll be dying. Once a year I wind up in the band.
Something is rotten in the state of Denmark, but nothing is rotten with Cody.